Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 2. We'll presenting about our proposal with the title An Error Analysis of Word Order in Breathing Recontext made by student at SMA Negeri 1 Banyudono. The first is Chapter 1 will be explained by my partner Nanda.
A background of study. The problem also faced by students in 11th grade of SMA N 1 Banyudono. This error caused by the way of students who still use bahasa form to construct English sentence. So they produce an utterance that different with the basic standards of English form. In this research, the researcher chose an error analysis of word order used in writing recontext made by students at SMA N 1 Banyudono. B. Identification of research. This study is concerned on analyzing of word order used in recontext by students at SMA N 1 Banyudono, especially in word order construction and word order distribution. C. Limitation of research. In this research, the researcher focused on using of word order error used in recontext made by students at the second grade of SMA N 1 Banyudono. The researcher focused in the order of recontext sentences, especially for arrangement of subject, predicate, and the object of sentence in recontext. D. Research question. Based on the consideration above, research question is what kinds of word order errors are made by students in writing recontext at 11th grade at SMA N 1 Banyudono. E. Objective of the study. Based on the problem above, the aims of this research is to know the kinds of error made by students in using word order in writing recontext among 11th grade at SMA N 1 Banyudono. F. Definition of key term. Error analysis. An error is an inaccuracy when the student learns something and consistently gets wrong. 2. Word order. Word order is the arrangement of the words in a phrase, clause, or sentence. 3. Use. Use is the way in which something is or can be used. 4. Writing. Writing is a method of representing language in visual or tactile form. Writing system use set of symbols to represent the sound of speech and may also have symbols for such things as punctuation and numeral. 5. Recontext. A recontext is a text which retells events of our experience in the past. Its purpose is either to inform or to entertain the audience.
Chapter 2. Definition of writing. Writing process is already taught in school and college. Writing has an important role and most difficult for students in the language learning process, and this skill needs to be mastered. Writing could be pen and key with an unlimited number of revision before it realized. The definition of recontext. Recontext that retell past event. According to Anderson and Anderson 2003, a recontext is a text or piece of text which retell past event. It is usually in order which something that happened. In every story, no matter how simple, needs an orientation. Indeed, it is impossible to tell a story unless that there are characters set up in particular time and place, although many postmodern narratives play with convention. According to Lansker-Conchiel, the context has several generic structures consist of orientation, event, and reorientation. Example of recontext. Example, my short holiday in Bandung last holiday. I went to Bandung with Asep. We spent our holiday there. We went to Bandung by bus. The bus schedule from purpose was at 7 a.m. and arrived in Bandung at 11:30 a.m. In the first day, we went to Bandung Zoo. The ticket price was only 30 rupiah. The animal collection there were very complete. In the next day, we went to Geological Museum and talked with the guide about geology. It made us understand about geology. We saw rock collection there. After that, I went to Bandung bus station because we had to go home to purpose. My holiday in Bandung was only 2 days, but it made me happy. And then orientation. Last holiday, I went to Bandung with Asep. We spent our holiday there. We went to Bandung by bus. The schedule from Brebes at 7 a.m. and arrived in Bandung at 11:30 a.m. And the sequence of events is, in the first day, we went to Bandung Zoo. The ticket price was only 30,000 rupiah. The animal collection there very complete. And the next day, we went to Geological Museum and talked with Quiet about geology. It made us understand about geology. We saw rock collection there. After that, I went to Bandung bus station because we had to go home Brebes. The orientation, my holiday in Bandung was only 2 days, but it made me happy. Error analysis. Definition of error analysis. Error analysis is an activity to identify, classify, and interpret or describe the errors made by someone in speaking or in writing, and is carried out to obtain information on common difficulties faced by someone in speaking or in writing in English sentence. Another thing which should be noticed is the producer of error analysis. According to Ellis, there are producers to analyze data in error analysis that consists of 1. Identification of errors, describing errors, explanation of errors, and evaluation of errors. Difference between error and mistake. Errors caused by lack of knowledge about the target language or English, or by incorrect hypothesis about it, and mistake caused by temporary lapse of memory, confusion, slip of the tongue, and so on. In other words, it means that if the learner is inclined and able to correct a fault in his or her output, it is to assume that he formed or he select was not the one intended. It called as mistake. In addition, if the learner is unable or in a way declined to make the correction, we assume that the formula used was the one intended. It called an error.
Definition of word order. In the Indonesian language, rules we know as POK that it is a word order in English. As we know, it's composing an English sentence that is good and right. The following sequence is needed: subject, predicate, and the new object is added with an adverb of place and time. Word order type. A. Adposition order. Example, the existence of preposition versus postposition. B. The placement of genitive and noun. C. The placement of the adjective and noun. D. The placement of the relative clause and noun. E. The placement of the standard comparison marker and adjective. We found that VCO language generally have preposition, position, genitives, adjectives, and relatives clauses after the noun, and have the order adjective, marker, standard in comparison. SOV language are predominantly postpositional and display the very opposite ordering of the above constituents. SVO language tend to possess features of both SOV and VCO, with the latter predominating. Order error. A. Sentence pattern. Subject is the word that tells you who or what performed the action of the verb. Almost all English sentences contain a subject and a verb. The verb may or may not be followed by an object. B. Tense. Tense in English identifies when an event happens or describes a stage. The simple past indicates that an activity or situation began and ended at a particular time in the past. We use past tense to describe and narrate an event or situation that occurred in the past and is over. C. Pronoun. A pronoun is a word that is used in the place of a noun or noun phrase. Usually when a noun or noun phrase has been used once, a pronoun is used to avoid repetition of the same noun or noun phrase. D. Punctuation and spelling. order in noun phrase. Noun phrases are phrases where the key word is a noun. We call this the head word, and the noun phrase in a group of words that acts like a noun is a sentence. Whereas noun phrase is defined as a phrase that consists of a pronoun or noun with any number of associated modifiers, including adjectives small, red, lovely, adjectives phrases, adjectives clause, possessive adjectives my, his, her, their, adverb very, extremely, usually, article they, a, and an, preposition phrases, and other nouns in the possessive case. Noun phrase never stand alone is sentence formula of noun phrase. The head, pre-modifier, post-modifier. Noun phrase is a single word noun phrases. Only the head word is used and the phrase is described as in simple noun phrase. 3. Bookcase, politician, sex complex. Noun phrase. When noun phrases are expanded by the addition of extra word, we describe them as complex noun phrases. These can contain word before the head word or pre-modification after the head word atau post-modification or both before and after atau pre and post modification. Yang pertama, the Livy tree. Second, the bookcase with warped shelves. And third, the local politician who fight to human rights. The function word order in sentence is very important in English because there is very little case marking. A subject and an object have the same form or except for pronouns. For example, the sentence Mary likes Dave does not have the same meaning as Dave likes Mary. The subject or the person who likes comes before the verb. The object, the person who receives the action of the verb, comes after the verb. F. The relevance of study. The similarity of this research is purpose of the research was to find out common error word order of noun phrase. The differences of this research is the researcher of student's paper from the teacher about recount text. Then the researcher analyzed the error in word order. By this document, the researcher will analyze and know students' error of word order in writing recount text. It can be concluded that the students still find difficulties in writing recount text or another writing types. Therefore, the researcher wants to know what kind of error the frequently occurred in the use of word order in recount text made by students at SMA Negeri 1 Banyudono.
The stage of research. The data were formed by using a formula which was adapted from Lumen 2004 after she calculated the data to get the results of total errors, and then she interpreted the data descriptively. Finally, she could have a conclusion based on the results of student total errors. B. The setting of research. SMA N 1 Banyudono, which is location on Jembungan, Banyudono, Boyolali. Population sample and sampling. Data research was conducted by using purposive sampling. The sample unit contact adapted certain criteria applied based on objective research. The subject of the research were 10 students from second grade at SMA N 1 Banyudono Based on preliminary observation, it was found that the students were the ones who made the most error in their reading skill. Source of data. The researcher will got the data from students in class 8 at SMA N 1 Banyudono through student assessment. Technique of collecting data. Key instrument of collecting data were documentation. The data were taken by English teacher. The researchers asked student paper from the teacher about recount text. Then the researchers analyzed the error in word order. Technique of analyzing data focus on 4 particular steps developed by Ellis: identification of error 2, describing error 3, explanation of error 4, and evaluation errors.
Okay, that was the end of our presentation about our proposal. Thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.